All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kevin Gilmore for the National Weather Service New Orleans Baton Rouge office located in Slidell, Louisiana. We want to go ahead and get started. We got a lot to talk about here with the risk of some severe weather coming up around the corner. I feel like the last time we did one of these, I know we've been doing a few with some severe weather recently, but it seems like we're kind of getting in that time of year where we're starting to get a little bit more active with severe weather. And we do have plenty to talk about coming up, especially as we're talking. I know a lot of people have been talking about Saturday, it being likely being a significant severe weather outbreak across portions of the southeast that will be impacting portions of Louisiana and Mississippi as well. So we're going to go ahead and talk about all the details you need to know, everything we know up to this point, and what you can expect here coming up in the next few days. So we'll basically go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Like I always show this slide when I start these. Can you find where you live on a map? And how important that is, because I'm about to show you a series of maps coming up here, and you need to know where you are on these maps, where you live. Not only that, what county or parish is adjacent to you. That's vitally important here because, again, I'm going to be showing you a lot of maps coming up here showing you where your location is. So, for example, if you live in Slidell, you're in St. Tammany Parish, you know where you are on this map in that given location. So you'll be able to determine what your risk is, what your threat level is, and the timing too. So what you can expect and how you need to prepare for the severe weather coming up. So again, this is going to be our area that we cover. A little bit about us again. We are one of 122 offices in Southeast Louisiana, one of 122 offices in the United States. One of those being in Southeast Louisiana and Southern Mississippi, where we cover 22 parishes in Louisiana and 8 counties in Southern Mississippi. But if you're watching us from any adjacent areas, other adjacent offices, to the west, National Weather Service, Lake Charles; to the north, Jackson, Mississippi; and to the east, Mobile, Alabama. Be sure to follow them for the latest forecast information pertaining to those locations. But again, for this information we're about to present, we're going to be really honing in on that green area you see there of Southeast Louisiana and Southern Mississippi. So this is kind of an example of why you need to know your location, because we show you these series of maps on the left so you can find your location. Like this is an example. I live in Poplarville, okay? I'm in Pearl River County. And here I know I have a threat level 2 out of 5 because I know where I am on that map. And then I'm going to show you some timing graphics as well. Those timing graphics, you'll be able to say to yourself, okay, I'm in area 2, and that means I have about a noon to 5 p.m. threat. So that's why it's incredibly important to know your location for these next series of graphics that I'm about to show. So first, however, a lot of people may not know this, but we do have a risk of severe weather tomorrow on Friday. Now, this risk is a little bit higher, or I should say greater, to the north, including Mississippi, Tennessee, and up into the mid-Mississippi Valley region, but it does extend into our south into our area as well. This is a threat level 1 to 2 out of 5 across our general location of Southeast Louisiana and Southern Mississippi, and your threat timing is going to be in the right. Remember, find the location, and there's your timing for that specific location in which you live or any interest for. So a marginal to slight risk means we may have a few isolated, strong, potentially severe storms. We're not expecting a significant severe weather outbreak on Friday, but a few storms may need to be watched. So some of those details include that we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing primarily Friday evening. So backing up a little bit before that, if you're wondering about how Friday is going to be, Friday is going to be primarily another nice day, similar to the same type of weather we've been seeing these last several days. Really warm in the afternoon, nice, maybe a little breezy. But we'll have to watch some scattered showers and storms developing in the evening hours, generally around the 6 o'clock time frame. And they may become a little bit stronger as we get towards the evening to early overnight time frame. So when these cells develop, they'll be racing off towards the northeast. And as you get towards closer to that slight risk area, that's mainly north of I-10-12. A few of those have a better chance of becoming maybe isolated severe. So main risks are going to be large hail up to 1 inch in diameter. Some damaging wind gusts could be possible. And can't rule out an isolated tornado as well. But again, that's that lower end, that threat level 1 to 2 out of 5 risk Friday evening through their early overnight hours. Once these cells get out of here overnight, they'll be racing off towards south central Mississippi and south central and southern Alabama. They'll be getting out of area really quick. And then most of the morning, early Saturday morning, will be quiet, even towards around daybreak. So people may be asking about what's the travel like early Saturday. It's actually not going to be too bad at all. There shouldn't really be much around, but it's going to be later that morning and into the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday, where we're going to be likely seeing a significant severe weather outbreak across portions of our area. That's a threat level 3 to 4 out of 5, and that is a little heightened from what we typically see around here. We don't get a lot of moderate risk events this far out in advance. For this is the Day 3 Storm Prediction Center outlook, and I should mention, from what we've been sharing on graphics earlier this morning, this outlook was just updated by the Storm Prediction Center, which has now shifted that moderate risk, that red area, that 4 out of 5 area, has been shifted west to now include southwestern Mississippi, Wilkinson County, and the Atchafalaya River Basin. So the Atchafalaya, those river parishes across Point Coupee and Iberville Parish, are now under that threat level 4 out of 5. So there's a chance these storms could get going and maybe becoming severe a lot earlier, further back to the west now. Something to keep in back of your mind. But even if you're in that threat level 3 or 4 out of 5, this whole area has the potential to see a significant severe weather episode. Timing, like I was just mentioning, that mid to late morning Saturday is when we're going to have to start watching some of these showers and storms developing. They'll be scattered at first, and they may struggle to develop at first as well, but when we get to the afternoon and when we really start to warm up, some of those storms could quickly grow to become severe. So I know a lot of people too have been asking about what type of storm mode can we be seeing here. This is going to be primarily scattered, so cells, supercells, things like that. So that's going to be mostly across most of the area, really growing quickly, moving quickly towards the northeast. There's your hazards on the right. We're talking about large hail up to 2 inches in diameter that could cause damage to anything outside. Damaging wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour will quickly bring down trees and power lines. And tornadoes, a few of those could be strong. And what we mean by strong, that's EF2 strength or EF2 damage or greater, or long tracks. So typically down here, we're used to these quick spin-up tornadoes. They're not on the ground very long. They drop, they're done. But in this type of environment, we very well could be seeing longer track. These are tornadoes that stay on the ground for a longer duration. And they could be strong as well. So that's why it is vitally important that you have a reliable way to receive warnings during the day on Saturday. This is anywhere from mid to late morning Saturday through the afternoon, evening hours. And then you see where it might end. So people always ask, when's it going to end? You see in the areas to the south shore, we're talking about around 7 o'clock. So after sunset, around and after sunset, the threat should be pushing off towards the north and east. And for the northern areas, the threat's going to be moving from west to east, and we'll get to about coastal Mississippi in the evening to early overnight hours. Finally, kicking off of that Jackson County area over towards like Mobile's area around that 8 to 10 o'clock time frame. We are not expecting any additional rounds. We're not expecting like anything else to redevelop overnight. Once these storms get out of here between 7 and 10 o'clock Saturday, it's done. No additional threats expected thereafter. It's going to be this primary window where we're going to really keep a very close eye for the risk for severe weather. Again, that's a threat 3 to 4 out of 5, which is a lot greater than what we typically see down here, which brings the extreme attention that we need to be having with this system. So we're many days out in advance. We're going to talk about preparedness here in just a second, and what we need to do, what you need to do to prepare. But we're a couple of days out. We got all day Friday, but we still have to watch for severe storms Friday. But Saturday is going to be the day you got to have that plan in place. So when I'm saying 1 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, all those, what does that mean? This is kind of your understanding severe thunderstorm risk category guideline. What you can expect. Marginals of 1 out of 5. That's what I was mentioning. That's primarily the risk on Friday is going to be, maybe an isolated severe storm, limited in duration. Not a big deal. Still, we got to pay attention to it, but still, we got to kind of watch that. But you go way down that chart. Look at that moderate, widespread severe storms likely. That's long-lived, widespread, and intense thunderstorms, which is what we're going to pretty much expect in this case. So we're going to have to watch that. If there's going to be any types of changes or adjustment to these outlooks, we got, a day or two ahead where that could happen. So what you see now could change as we get a little bit closer, especially, as confidence typically grows as we get a little bit closer towards the event. We'll be able to narrow down a little bit better specific timing and also outlook area as well. So keep that in the back of your mind. That 4 out of 5 is definitely a very serious outlook that we need to really closely pay attention to, especially for our area. And if you're not watching in our area, if you're watching from other portions of the southeast or even beyond, this is actually what the outlook looks like for Saturday. This moderate risk for our area is not just our area. It actually includes all the way up to Jackson, Mississippi, south central Mississippi, all the way up to Huntsville. So this is actually a very large area of what could be significant severe weather expected during the day on Saturday. all the way including Birmingham, Montgomery, you're under the gun as well. We could likely see some significant severe weather, maybe a little bit towards the later time frame for Birmingham, Huntsville to Montgomery, but still, if you got family and friends in other areas of the southeast and all the way up to even the Ohio Valley has a risk of severe weather as well, be sure to pass the word on to them. If you got anybody in Alabama, Mississippi, even Georgia, Tennessee, let them know that there's severe weather right around the corner here coming up on Saturday. But that moderate risk is going to be that primary area we're really going to be monitoring for that risk for significant severe weather during the day on Saturday. And some of that precautionary things, like I just promised earlier, what we were going to talk about, please know where to go. Have that plan in place. Always go, we always say this all the time. Remember, go to the small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Remember those 4 bullet points. Okay? Yes, we know where we're at here locally in Louisiana and southern Mississippi. We don't have basements, so that's why this is extremely important, is to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So that may include like a center bathroom, a center closet. Sometimes even grab a helmet. A helmet would be great to grab, a pillow, to protect yourself from flying debris. And these are 2 pictures, examples of where people actually survived in a tornado that struck their home and demolished the entire house, but kept that center structure in place. That's why we say that. We don't want you to be near windows. We don't want you to definitely do not be outside. Be indoors and put as many walls between you and outside as possible. So with this type of an event, it's likely we'll have a tornado watch issued, and there could be likely tornado warnings issued as well. So what's the difference between a watch and a warning? Watch just means just that. It means watch out. It means conditions are possible or likely for the production of tornadoes. There could be some tornadoes in that type of an environment. A warning means take action. That means seek shelter and go to a safe place immediately. And we may have those. That's why it's important and extremely vital to make sure you have a reliable way to receive warnings. And one of those is wireless emergency alerts. Almost everyone has a smartphone. If you don't, that's fine. There's other ways to get warnings as well, which include broadcast media, the TV, radio, and NOAA weather radio as well. You cannot go wrong with any of those. But if you do have a type of smartphone, wireless emergency alerts will alert you if that threat, if you're near or within that polygon. And what will be alerted will be tornado warnings of any magnitude and higher tagged severe thunderstorm warnings, and as well as higher tagged flash flood warnings. So more serious threat tag severe thunderstorm warnings and flash flood warnings. But for this type of day, if you're in a tornado warning or near it, you'll get your phone to alert like that. So make sure they are turned on. If you don't know how, look it up online. And make sure that they are turned on, and we'll make sure that everybody gets the right message as we get a little bit closer. So I'm going to actually go back here in slideshows, in my slideshow examples here, and go back because I really want to emphasize this again. This type of an outlook. This is a pretty serious situation when it comes to a large portion of the area. Be aware, like I said before, that timing is likely going to become more confined with greater confidence as we get closer. And that outlook could change as well, too. We could see, it's possible there could be upgrades, there could be changes. We just don't know. We don't know right now, but when we do know, we will pass that along to you on our social media as fast as possible. We'll be updating our webpage, doing everything we got to do to get that message out. So you have between today and early Saturday to kind of really get prepared. Make sure that you have that reliable way to receive warnings. If you have a weather radio, make sure its program has an extra set of batteries. Prepare for potential for power outages as well. If you do have that, if you have power outages, make sure you have a flashlight, shoes, stuff like that, so that if there is debris, you can quickly grab some shoes. And again, just one of those things. We'll have to get through it, and we'll be doing more of these as we come along. But basically, we just really wanted to kind of get our first Facebook Live out to really discuss this, since it is the weekend, and a lot of people may have weekend plans. Please be weather aware. Constantly check on the latest updates. If you're following anyone on social media, if you're following your favorite broadcast meteorologist, or you're following us, we'll be providing updates as well as frequently as possible, putting them on Twitter and Facebook. So be sure to check back with that. But we'll catch you back here with another Facebook Live. We'll try and keep these going so we pass along the latest information to you. We'll try and get one going here likely during the day on Friday. That'll pass on the latest information with timing and all that too. So again, spend this time today and tomorrow, especially today and tomorrow, to make sure you have a plan in place. Spread the word. Let people know that we have what could be a significant severe weather event across the area during the day on Saturday. So we'll end it there, short and sweet. We're coming up to about 4 o'clock. And we'll catch you back next time. Thanks so much for attending, and we'll catch you back likely during the day tomorrow. So with that, y'all have a great rest of the day. We'll talk with you next time. Take care.